The first rule of surviving at the Galactic Academy was simple: don't attract attention. The second rule was even more important: don't be the only human in the room. Unfortunately for me, both rules were impossible, because I was Daniel Carter, the first human ever accepted into the Interstellar Academy of Sciences. And every alien in the galaxy wanted to study me, the only human. The lecture hall inside the Academy's central spire was massive. Rows of floating seats curved upward in a wide arc around a holographic teaching platform. The walls shimmered with shifting star maps and rotating planetary models, displaying hundreds of alien systems. Nearly every seat was already filled. Tall crystalline beings from the Orelise colonies, scaled reptilian scholars from the Vathari Dominion, floating gas-encased entities from the Kalmari Collective, and dozens of other species I still couldn't pronounce. Then there was me, one human. One very obvious human. At 6 feet tall with brown hair and Earth-standard clothing, I stood out like a campfire in a dark forest. Some students stared openly. Others whispered. A few scanned me with handheld sensors. I sighed and slid into the last empty seat near the middle of the hall. The class was comparative evolutionary biology, which meant 2 hours of alien professors arguing about how life evolved across different star systems. I was hoping to sit quietly and survive the lecture. That hope lasted exactly 20 seconds, because someone sat beside me. I glanced sideways and nearly jumped. She was different. Her skin carried a faint silver glow, like moonlight reflecting on water. Delicate patterns ran along her arms like thin lines of light. Her eyes were large, dark blue, and almost luminous. Instead of hair, soft strands of bioluminescent filaments flowed behind her head like drifting starlight. She looked around nervously, then leaned slightly closer, and whispered, "Are you really from Earth?" Curiosity. I blinked. "Well," I said quietly, "that depends." Her eyes widened. "On what?" "On whether you believe the stories." She stared at me. "What stories?" "The ones aliens tell about humans." Her glowing strands flickered faintly, which I later learned was her species' version of embarrassment. "I did not mean to be rude," she said quickly. "I'm not offended," I replied. She studied me carefully. "My name is Linera," she said. "Daniel." She tilted her head slightly. "Daniel." It sounded strange with her accent. Her species, the Ellery, were known for their curiosity. Their civilization specialized in research, exploration, and science. Apparently, that curiosity extended to humans. "You are the first human student here," she said. "Yeah." Her eyes brightened. "I requested to sit beside you." "That's flattering." "I wish to verify something." I raised an eyebrow. "What?" She leaned closer again and whispered even more quietly. "Are humans really as dangerous as everyone says?" I couldn't help laughing. That earned several annoyed glances from nearby students. "Dangerous?" I said. "Yes." Her glowing filaments shifted color slightly. The Academy archives say humans survived on a Class 4 death world. That's technically correct. Your planet contains predators larger than ground vehicles. Also true. You invented chemical explosives before achieving planetary unity. Okay, that one's definitely true. She stared at me with growing fascination. "And yet you are sitting here taking notes." I shrugged. "Even Deathworlders need an education." She looked genuinely impressed. "I am glad I sat here." Humans and Legends. As the lecture began, Professor Zareth, a towering insectoid scholar, activated the holographic projector. A spinning image of Earth appeared above the platform. "Today's topic," the professor said, "is adaptive evolution on high-risk biospheres." Every student turned toward me. I slumped slightly in my seat.
Great.
The professor continued. Few worlds produce intelligent life capable of surviving multiple extinction-level environments. The hologram zoomed closer to Earth. Earth is one such anomaly. Linnea leaned closer again. Is it true your oceans contain creatures larger than starships? Not starships, I whispered, but close. Her eyes widened. And your atmosphere once supported winged reptiles larger than buildings? Dinosaurs. She seemed delighted. And your species survived ice ages, meteor strikes, plagues, and global wars? I nodded. That's basically human history. She sat back slowly. That explains much. Explains what? Why everyone is afraid of you. Unexpected friendship. Over the next few weeks, Linnea became my constant companion at the Academy, not because she was assigned to study humans, but because she genuinely wanted to understand them, which meant endless questions. Is it true humans run for recreation?
Yeah.
Why? Because it's fun. That is illogical. She also discovered something surprising. Humans weren't as intimidating as the galaxy believed. One afternoon in the Academy garden, a floating biosphere filled with alien plants, she watched me attempt to climb a low-gravity training wall. You are struggling, she observed. I'm not struggling, I grunted. You have been hanging there for 20 seconds. Strategic pause. She laughed. The sound was soft and musical. Over time, other students began approaching us. At first cautiously, then with growing curiosity. A Vathari student asked about human warfare strategies. A Kelmari researcher asked about Earth's biodiversity. Soon the dangerous human became the most popular student on campus. Linnea seemed pleased. You are not what the galaxy expected, she said one evening. What did they expect? A monster. And what did they get? She smiled faintly. A friend. The emergency. Everything changed during the Academy incident. It happened during a routine astrophysics simulation. Students were running a virtual scenario involving unstable stars and gravitational anomalies. Except this time, the anomaly wasn't virtual. The Academy's sensors suddenly detected a real gravitational distortion forming near the station. Alarms blared. The artificial gravity fluctuated violently.
Students panicked.
Professor Zirith shouted instructions. Remain calm. Emergency protocols are activating. But the distortion was growing rapidly. A microsingularity. A tiny black hole forming due to a rare cosmic collision nearby. If it expanded, it could tear the Academy station apart. Students scrambled toward evacuation corridors. But Linnea froze. Her species was extremely sensitive to gravitational fluctuations. The shifting gravity made her disoriented. Daniel, she whispered weakly. Her glowing strands dimmed. The floor tilted again. Students stumbled. A heavy equipment console broke loose and slid across the room toward her. Without thinking, I moved. Humans are good at one thing evolution taught us well. Running toward danger. I sprinted across the room, grabbed Linnea, and pulled her clear as the console smashed into the wall behind us. The gravity fluctuated again.
Hold on, I said.
I cannot stabilize, she said weakly. That's okay. I lifted her. Humans carry their friends. Death world advantage. The emergency corridor was chaos. Gravity kept shifting between heavy and light. Many alien species struggled to move. But humans evolved on a planet with constant environmental changes. We adapt quickly. I pushed forward through the corridor while carrying Linnea. Students stared. Is he carrying an Ellery? That human is insane. Finally, we reached the stabilization chamber. Engineers were trying to counter the singularity using gravitational dampeners. But something was wrong. The system required manual calibration. and the control console was inside a chamber experiencing intense gravity fluctuations. No one could reach it, except someone from a death world. I handed Lynera to a nearby medic. "Stay here." She grabbed my arm weakly. "Daniel, it is too dangerous." I smiled. Dangerous is kind of our specialty. Then I ran. Inside the chamber, gravity surged unpredictably. Every step felt like walking through invisible waves. I forced myself forward, reached the console, started recalibrating the dampeners. Behind me, the singularity twisted space like a dark whirlpool. One mistake, and the Academy would vanish. I finished the final sequence. "Come on." The dampeners activated. The distortion collapsed. The alarm stopped. Silence filled the station. Aftermath. The Academy auditorium was packed. Students from dozens of species filled the seats. At the center stood the Academy director. Today, the director announced, a catastrophic event was prevented by the actions of one student. Everyone turned toward me. I wanted to disappear. Daniel Carter of Earth. Applause spread across the room. The director continued. This incident has taught us something important. A hologram of Earth appeared above the stage. Humans are not feared because they are violent. The director paused. They are respected because they are resilient. The applause grew louder. After the ceremony, Lynera found me outside beneath the Academy's transparent observation dome. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky. She stood quietly beside me. "You risked your life," she said softly. "I did what anyone would do." She shook her head.
No.
Her glowing strands brightened. "You did what humans do." She looked out at the stars. "When I first asked if you were really from Earth," she smiled faintly. "I did not understand what that meant. And now," she turned toward me. "Now I do." "What does it mean?" Her eyes shimmered with admiration. "It means you come from a world that creates people who run toward danger to protect others." I rubbed the back of my neck awkwardly. "Not all of us." "Enough." She extended her hand. Among the Ellery, it was a gesture of deep respect. "Daniel Carter of Earth," she said. "I am glad I sat beside you." I shook her hand. "Me too." Above us, the stars of 1,000 alien civilizations burned brightly. And somewhere among them, humanity had just earned a little more respect. All because one curious alien girl asked a simple question. "Are you really from Earth?" And the answer turned out to be more important than anyone expected.